Today is Thursday, October 15th, 2020, and today I'm thinking about the golden rule. Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them, for this is the law and the prophets. And of course, these days people say, you should do to others, treat other people how you would like to be treated. And I think it's one of those things that we all know is correct. You should not be treating others in a way that you would not like to be treated. And yet it's just so pervasive, and this earth is filled with narcissistic people and just tons of people that they treat others like dirt for absolutely no reason. And of course, that's not how they would like to be treated, but there's a lot of people out there that it's like they're the only person in the world and everybody else is just a means to an end to get whatever they want or entertain themselves. And ye shall know them by their fruits. These people don't treat you or don't treat others in ways that those people would like to be treated. And it goes into being a hypocrite. These people are giant hypocrites. You know, the type of people that are like always talking down on stuff, but if you point out one little minor flaw that they have, they go ballistic. It's just that type of thing. And why I'm thinking about this today is because of this thing on Reddit. And it's the fact that oftentimes these people try to play it off as a joke. These people, they're adults and they're in these positions of power, and yet you can see that at the end of the day they're just children, and all of this place is just a big fantasy. It's Wizard of Oz. You think that they're powerful because they have a piece of paper or they have a title or they have a lot of money, but at the end of the day they're an arrested development child, and not in a good way. Not a child in a good way, in a childish, more like a teenager. They act like teenagers forever, and that's why they're so obsessed with sexual innuendo jokes and potty mouths and pushing things that are degenerate. Do you know, like, how you'll be watching something and you're sitting there like, how is this supposed to be funny? Like, what is funny about this? This just isn't funny. And yeah, you're just surrounded by these types of people. So here, at GE in the 1920s, as a joke, okay, just because you say something's a joke, that doesn't make it a joke. Jokes are supposed to be funny. I don't find any of this stuff funny. Newly hired engineers would be told to develop an inside frosted light bulb, which was believed to be impossible. In 1925, newly hired Marvin Pipkin got the assignment and astonished his peers by succeeding. Whatever. The comments were more interesting here, because it's just people talking about this type of hazing that is everywhere. Have you ever wondered why hazing is such a big thing? And cults do hazing, secret societies do hazing. Why do high schools do hazing? Why do high school sports teams do hazing? Why does the military do hazing? And it's because it's all a part of the same thing. You're surrounded by these arrested development freaks that are a part of an Orange 33 club, and hazing and practical jokes, which aren't even jokes. They're not funny. And anyways, you're just surrounded by these people. They're everywhere, and it's not funny, and it shows you that this world is fake, and that the people that are in positions of power don't really deserve to be there. It's just that they're a part of a club. I guess I'll just say personally, a personal story that I have is just that one person in particular that was supposed to be my like best friend or whatever, they loved keeping things from me. They loved having inside jokes with their friends, and then they would purposefully not tell me about it. Even if I'd go and tell them, just tell me what it is, tell me what it is, they would never tell me. And I was probably like 12 years old or something, and these people are ruthless, and they will never break their vows, and they love their inside jokes and their little secrets, and I detest them, and I detest this place. And so I'm just going to read this one. At the shop I work at, we had a prank on the new guys around Christmas. Everybody in the shop would sign a form and put down whether they wanted a Christmas ham or a Christmas turkey. Oh, so everybody's in on it. And everybody goes along with it. Nobody steps up and says, this is stupid, I'm not doing this. Then they'd give it to the new guy and have him put down what he wanted and tell him, since he was the last one that he had to take it to the shop lead. The shop lead was always furious because he had asked everyone to not do these kinds of things anymore, and everyone in the shop ended up signing the thing anyways. That one stopped when the new guy said something about how great it was that the company would buy the whole shop Christmas dinner, and that he had been out of work for so long that he didn't know if they were going to have a turkey that year. Somebody ended up buying the guy a turkey, and the joke stopped. And I bet the person who bought the guy a turkey was not the shop lead, who was always furious about this stuff. It was probably the only invert there that had a speck of a conscience about this thing. And this just goes to show you that most adults are just horrible people, and they go along with the flow. And guess who's pushing the flow? It's the Orange 33 freaks that are Arrested Development because, well, you know, if you watch my channel. And do they think that this stuff is fun? It's not funny. This is not funny. That's not a funny joke. My first week on a ship. So the point of this, really the reason that I'm doing this video is because it shows you that the military is fake. One of the worst areas that this type of hazing happens is the military. If the military was real, if we really had wars going on, they would not be just joking around all the time and pulling pranks on one another all the time and hazing one another all the time. They would actually be doing things. If you talk to military people that are willing to tell you the truth and not lie about all the people they killed, people that tell the truth about their time in the military, they seriously do nothing all the time. And so this is the type of thing, they just pull pranks on one another all the time because there's no such thing as real military conflict anymore. If wars were real, they would be serious about it. But have you noticed how they're never serious about this stuff? Because it's not serious. It's just a theater of war. My first week on a ship, I spent an embarrassing long time hunting down some pipe thread. It's just the type of, is that funny? I don't think it's funny. I think it's rude and really immature. It's the kind of thing that 12-year-olds do, but this is full-grown, allegedly adults that do these things day in, day out, year after year. They never get tired of it. That's another thing too. There's just so many Martins out there that are like middle-aged and they still crack up about fart jokes, and they love men with giant fake boobs, and they will never change. And they will always get a laugh out of pulling the same pranks over and over. They don't develop in any way. They total Arrested Development and childish. I was a greenhorn in a fishing boat in Alaska, and they made me ask the other boats for shoreline and prop wash. One of the other guys gave me a bucket with Gatorade in it. I really wish I could remember the source, but I remember reading a story where some old engineer sent a noob to the supply house to get a sky hook. Though apparently that was an actual thing that the supply house carried. A very, very expensive thing. Anyways, I think that's a funny one when it backfires on them. When I worked in ground crew for an airline, we'd ask newbies to go find the cargo bin stretcher. Why does this transcend all aspects of society where basically any job like this is going to have people hazing the newcomers? And it's because they're a part of a big cult that hazing is just a big aspect. So they do what they know. This is what they know. This is what their life is. We usually just sent the newbies to find the Humvee keys. I guess the Humvees didn't have keys or something for the army, so they would send people off on these wild goose chases. On boats, newbies would be asked to get the keys to the sea chest from a high-ranking person in the department. A sea chest simply being a box on the hull where seawater entered for some reason or another. There are no keys. And yeah, this is just a common theme. Is this how you would like to be treated? You're brand new to a job, and you want people jerking your chain everywhere? Is that how you want to be treated? No, of course not. But these people are childish and terrible people. Terrible people. I've heard in the Coast Guard of getting rookies to help tune the antennas on the ship. While docked, they get noobs to hold a reflector, like a cookie sheet, wrap people in tinfoil, whatever, and tell them to go tune the antennas. When I used to work at a local grocery store, we would tell all the new hires to go shake the salad dressing every hour. Stuff like this. Like, what a waste. It's such a waste of time, and it's embarrassing for the people doing these things. How old are you? Like 12? Water fountain trick at the farm supply store. Again, this is just everywhere. It's not even just the military, even though they're notorious for this type of thing. Can't even work at a farm supply store without some Orange 33er above you trying to make your life miserable and trying to play it off as a joke. And you know how this is really big, where people do some really horrible things and then they just like, hey, it's a joke. Can't you take a joke? It's not funny. It's not funny to fool people, and right, because it's lying. These people are liars. They're of their father, the devil. They think that lies are funny. It's not funny. Tire shops do it. When I worked in a restaurant, we told them that the eggs need to be turned to keep them fresh. And again, it just shows you that you're surrounded by people that know that tons of people are really gullible and they'll believe anything. And they take advantage of that simply for their own amusement. I get asked all the time, well, what's the motive? Why would anybody lie about something like that? Why would anybody lie about telling people that the eggs need to be turned to keep them fresh? It's because these people are sick liars and they get a kick out of that. So in the same way, why would somebody lie about koalas? In the same way that somebody would lie about go and get the keys for the sea chest. You're surrounded by these people. Trade pranks. You know why? People in different trades are very into this idea of the hazing prank thing, because just look at the bone structure of tradesmen. Yeah. Pallet stretcher. Okay, it's just, I'm going to just fly through these things. This is kind of interesting. This one's, you know, so see, you see the humor behind it a little bit sometimes, but it's like, at the end of the day, they're tricksters. Anyways, I'll read this one. I think it's interesting just because the gel thing. In theatrical lighting, and because it's theatrical lighting, the colored sheets of plastic that are used to add color to the lights are called gels, because at one point they were actually gelatin-based. As such, they were water-soluble. It was common prank to assign the new guy the task of washing the gels, which would disintegrate in water. I mean, you see, like, at the end of the day, I understand that they're trying to get some comedic effect out of it. Oh, ha, ha, you were fooled. But it's just not funny to lie to people, to make a fool of them, and to just play it all off as, oh, that's a joke. Practical jokes are some of the worst. Some practical jokes end up being like very dangerous and harmful to people, and people just play it off as, oh, why don't you have a sense of humor? The gelatin one, this one, I don't know. Some of them are not as bad as others. This one, there's some humor to it because they just dissolve all the way. And you're not hurting someone or wasting a ton of their time wrapping them up in a tin foil and going and talking to supervisors and grid squares, I guess exhaust samples are a big one. They send people out with the trash bag to collect exhaust samples. And you're supposed to be building like bonds, trustworthy bonds with these people. But do you notice how it's like, instead of trying to build these trustworthy bonds with the new people, it's like they get them with the joke. And then what builds the bond is that there will be new people later. And the people who were fooled before, now they join in on it. There's some weird Stockholm syndrome. I don't know exactly the psychology behind hazing, but it's something that cults definitely use. And I guess I'll just say where this comes to play in the whole Masonic thing. It's a big thing for the higher levels to do this type of thing to the lower levels. And yeah. It's a snipe hunt. An act of hunting wild snipe. A practical joke in which an unwitting victim, I mean, here, they tell you it's a victim. Is this how we should be treating others? Is this how we should be treating people who are new to things? It's like you're brand new to this thing and you're getting stomped on before you can even do anything. And I also really like this because it's a fake animal. Why would anyone make up an animal? People tell me all the time. As a joke. They think it's funny that they can get people to believe in nonsense. That's it for this video. God bless everyone.